And we're back. Thank you for staying tuned. In case you're just tuning in late, we're speaking with former Quebec Premier, Mr. Bernard Landry. Thank you very much again, sir, for inviting us into your home.
My pleasure and duty.
Much of the information you've shared with me, our community members can definitely relate to, being victims of discrimination, racism, being misunderstood. So the questions I have to ask you, if Quebec views itself as a nation that is evolving into a state, how would a future Quebec state view Kahnawake, not other First Nations or other communities, because they have their own agenda, they have their own culture, they have their own politics, but Kahnawake specifically, if the people themselves chose to evolve into a city-state or a microstate which exists all around the world, how would a future Quebec relate to that?
First, I must say that in 1985, René Lévesque, Prime Minister of Quebec, had the national status of every First Nations in Quebec recognized officially by the National Assembly. So, a nation is a nation, and First Nation are a nation, and it's part of the solid base of the pt5 that we signed with the Cree.
So you would say Quebec is a nation and Kahnawake is a nation?
Exactly. No doubt. But the difference could be in terms of independence. I'm not talking of special status, but real independence present in United Nations and so on, that thousands of nations on earth are nations, but cannot be independent for all sorts of reasons, historical, political, economics. An example, if any First Nation in North America, starting by United States, claim for independence, they will have as adversaries at the second after Canada, United States, Mexico, Peru, all the countries of Latin America, because all of them have First Nations. So a middle way must be found to recognize the national status, the specific situation that you cannot be member of United States and contribute, United Nations and contribute, but at the same time not be treated like any other group, since you are a nation. And I think Quebec will be prone, more than many others, to recognize factually that specific status, because we're doing that in an exemplary way with the Crees and with some others. And I think we have to discuss and to negotiate on a realistic basis.
Do you feel, as a Quebecer, that you are perhaps a second-class citizen within the context of Canada?
Legally speaking, yes. Legally speaking. I do not mean that Canadians are contemptuous and saying that we are second-class citizens, but they control radio and television. Example.
So that's a scenario that you are not comfortable with?
Not at all.
Exactly.
How a nation can accept that all radio and television are under the control of the government of another nation, even if that other nation is not antipathic, or France and Great Britain are in full sympathy, member of European Union, but the French television is not controlled in London. See, that's one example of my say about second-class citizen. Legally, no problem.
Okay.
Factually, due to the fact that Quebec is a nation, it is not acceptable that many jurisdictions specific to a nation are in the hands of the government of another nation, Ottawa.
And that's definitely uncomfortable.
Of course, that's why we are democratically, totally democratically, fighting for independence since many years, and we will go on and we will get it.
So if you put yourself in the shoes of a Kahnawake Mohawk, you would know exactly then how we feel and how our views
Yes,
are.
but I would be realistic and say I will never be present in for United Nations. I will never have ambassadors all over the world.